Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Autism in St. Lucia is being given a voice by a mother who is nurturing an autistic son. She's asking the nation to become more sensitized about the condition in order to allow those living with it to have a fair chance to function in society. Autism or autism spectrum disorder refers to a broad range of conditions characterized by challenges with social skills, repetitive behaviors, speech, and nonverbal communication. There are many subtypes, and each person with autism can have unique strengths and challenges. A combination of genetic and environmental factors influence the development of autism, and autism often is accompanied by medical issues such as gastrointestinal disorders, seizures, and sleep disturbances. Autism affects an estimated 1 in 59 children. This mother of an autistic child says sensitization is key.
I think autism is a beautiful thing because my experience has been beautiful and very challenging for me. Sometimes I went from him not talking at all or just saying one word, and then I was saying the one word over and over and over when you're trying to have a conversation, to him just being incessant. You know, right? So it's a lot of journeys, but the thing is, it's through pushing. And you know, I was a parent in denial when Therese's dad was saying, oh, that she thinks there's something wrong or whatever. I'm like, no, he's just an only child. He's shy, whatever. And then, you know, when he got the official diagnosis, I was really upset. And I was a parent that didn't want to accept that because you don't want to think your child is weird. You don't want people to call your child a go-go or a deck or anything like that. And you also put the response, you think it's your fault, something you did. So all of those fears, I still have them now. So when it came to the point, I'm like, okay, I can try and hide this, but after a while, it's not gonna, it's only for so long you can hide these things. And how about if I just explain to people, well, you know, he does these things well because of that.
She encourages parents to be open and seek out assistance. She says shame causes many people to miss out on opportunities to get the required help. The journey with autism, she says, can be tough, but also fulfilling as one gets the tools to help their autistic child.
Children are now being diagnosed younger, which is good because you can help. This early intervention is always key, right? But it's the schools. The schools don't get help. You know, like how do we just, you know, some kids don't do well in schools for special needs. Sometimes they do better in a mainstream school just with someone to help to guide them. And you know, this has been ignored for so long. I ignored it too. Before my son being diagnosed, I wasn't thinking about that kind of stuff. But then how many children in St. Lucia are unable to go to school? You know, but if they just had a little bit of help, like Abdul, the same boy who's kicking, biting and screaming and mashing up the classroom, is the best behaved boy. I see him every day. And that's with a little bit of help.
Many people with autism have sensory issues. These can include aversions to certain sights, sounds, and other sensations. Autism's hallmark signs usually appear by age 2 to 3. Often, it can be diagnosed as early as 18 months. Castries Mayor Peterson Francis is counting on the corporate sector to support an ongoing effort to bring relief to victims of the recent Rose Hill fire. In a statement released by his office on Monday, the mayor said that he was depending on corporate St. Lucia to help the cause. The mayor has made the Castries Constituency Council a drop-off point for donations to the victims of the Rose Hill fire. In a statement, the mayor urged Good Samaritans who would still like to assist the fire victims to drop off their goods at the CCC office located on Pena Street, Castries. He observed that every donation, from clothing, food items, lumber, and household items, regardless of the size, will make a huge difference to those impacted by the fire. The mayor had recently expressed sadness at the devastation caused by the fire on the first day of 2019 to some 7 households, particularly to the children affected. In other news, London-based St. Lucian photographer and filmmaker Fiona Compton is sharing her experience as an artist with the world. Hot 7 News caught up with Compton at her home in St. Lucia and asked about the challenges that she faces as an artist.
Over the past 13 years, Fiona Compton's work has explored the various disparities in representation of the Afro-Caribbean diaspora within art and mainstream media. In 2017, she launched her multidisciplinary project, The Revolution of the Fairy Tale, which celebrates lesser-known heroes from Black history under the nostalgic platform of well-known fairy tales. Her films have been screened across the globe, winning several awards including Best Documentary and Best Director for Caribbean Film and Fashion Awards, and has also been featured in the UK Cabinet Office. Although it may seem that Compton had a head start in her career, as her father was once the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, she too identifies with the struggles suffered by any artiste, regardless of their background.
I think every artist, regardless of background, has to go through the struggle of being respected. You know, everybody loves your art, as they say, until you have to pay for it. You know, and you've seen, as if you go on social media, you see artists like who just on the brink of giving up. They just announce, I'm not doing this anymore. Everyone's like, no, please don't, we love it so much. But then we need to live right, you know. So it's like, it's hard. I think the quest to be respected is so hard for a creative wherever you are, you know. So it's like, because people think your art is a hobby, or that's just a kick-off thing, or that's just, you know, like, oh, you're a painter, okay, but what's your real job, you know, like, you know, or, you know, you're a poet, you're a writer, okay, but what do you do for money, you know, because people don't want to pay for these things.
Although Compton is based in London, she's asking the St. Lucian government to place more emphasis on the artists and invest more funds in the development of the local industry. She also would like to see community members support their own.
Obviously, there's a lot of investment in tourism and stuff, which is necessary. But then, you know, I personally think that tourists want to see more than just a beach and the pitos. You know, that we have so much art and so much culture. And I'm doing a project with June Frederick, and it's about documenting like the St. Lucia masquerade and the traditions and things like that. And, you know, speaking with her and hearing her frustrations, that, you know, she said to me the other day, she was talking to someone, she mentioned in passing she's just doing rehearsals with the kids for the masquerade, and the person said to her, oh, you still doing that? Like, oh, you know. But then if June stopped doing it, people are like, oh my God, there's no masquerade this year, this and this. But then people like her need help, you know. And I think, you know, sometimes, yes, I would love government support, right? It is great, but at the same time, we cannot always depend on government too. We have to support our creatives.
Fiona also has run creative workshops for children and young people, teaching the history and culture of the Caribbean and its linkages to Africa in venues such as the South Bank Centre and Black Cultural Archives in London. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
You're watching the Hot 7 Nightly News. Coming up, sports news with Tennyson Gasco.